Hey guys, welcome back to my tarot and review series. Every video in this series focuses on one card of the tarot, and I talk about its traditionally assigned meaning and my personal intuitive interpretation. You've joined me at episode number 9, and if you've been here before and want to skip the intro, as always, I have placed the timestamps in the description box below. Otherwise, as a reminder, I currently use two not safe for work decks. They are the Tarot of Sexual Magic, which I consider softcore, and Eros Tarot, which I consider hardcore. Please take heed of this warning. If you are uncomfortable by graphic depictions of sexual acts, then this series is not for you. This series is also not meant nor geared for those under 18. During this series, I will rarely discuss the reversal meanings of the card. Reversals as in a card jumps out or is pulled out upside down or reversed. I currently do not do this for several reasons. However, in the description box below, I have included a couple of links to VIII.com, which provides an excellent source of why you should and shouldn't read reversals. I'm not sponsored, just a fan of their content now. Today's featured major arcana card threw me for a bit of a loop when I started preparing for this video. Because I don't have all the cards memorized, I was looking at one of my provided booklets to see which card came first in the order. And it told me that Justice, Roman numeral 8 was next. Cool. So I went through all my decks, pulling everything that had a Roman numeral 8 and preparing to get everything ready. As I was going through the cards, I realized that I had also pulled Strength, and Strength had Roman numeral 8, and some of the Justice cards had Roman numeral 11. I found out that basically, in a nutshell, the standard decks that preceded Rider-Waite-Smith, example the Marseille Tarot, had Justice as number 8 and Strength as number 11. Then Rider-Waite-Smith came along and switched the order so that Justice was now number 11 and Strength became number 8. And they did this for a couple of reasons, and it was more like astrologically aligned or whatever. But it pissed a lot of people off. So basically, depending on which deck you have, the 8th card could either be Justice or Strength. Because of this confusion, and because I've been stating in previous videos that the Rider-Waite-Smith is the artistic blueprint for modern tarot imagery, we will be going with their numbering system, meaning that today's card is Strength, and Justice is relegated back to number 11. First and foremost, every time I see this depiction, I visualize every pet owner ever trying to pry something out of their dog or cat's mouth. Now, the word strength can mean several things. Is it mental? Is it physical? Simple answer is yes. The provided booklet for the Radiant Rider-Waite says that this card is about power, energy, action, and courage. And we also get magnanimity, which is just a fancy pants way of saying the word generous. The Golden Art Nouveau Tarot tells us that the lion has been tamed by her trust and in the goodness of his heart, which is stronger than his need to destroy. It also tells us that true strength, emphasis on true, is the courage to embrace the unfamiliar, which, okay, fair. It's sort of similar to the quote, bravery is being scared as fuck, but saddling up anyway. And yes, I'm pretty sure I just rammed together a few separate actual quotes, but you get the gist. The depiction of strength is prominently displayed as a woman, and with the innocence connotation, I get very much virgin and unicorn vibes, a certain purity, if you will. The Gilded Tarot strength is very similar, but there appears to be a chain collar around the lion that now the woman holds. It makes me feel like this leans more towards a physical strength. Perhaps her physical strength is often overlooked or downplayed. The Easy Tarot Handbook, which actually came with the Gilded Tarot deck, focuses on the feminine aspect of strength that has taken the masculine energy of the lion in hand. It states that feminine qualities such as patience and diplomacy, as opposed to aggression, combined with courage will achieve results and bring success. And this narrative is a common one applied to women. Delicate, soft-spoken, ethereal in their ability to tame the wild beasts with their innocence. And yeah, diplomacy will often get the job done. That's the whole you catch more flies with honey, blah, 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 blah. But when I look at this card, I see someone who has harnessed an incredible power, and she will use that power and all the tools at her disposal, including her rage and her aggression and her violence, if that's what it's called for, she will unleash that beast. In the Modern Witch Tarot, we see that the leash or chain has been replaced by a garland of flowers worn by both woman and lion. And at first, going through this card for the Golden Art Nouveau, I didn't realize that there was also a garden of flowers. It looks to be around her waist, and it doesn't encompass the lion at all. So that makes me think that while she's coming not to grips, but realizing that aspects of herself she hasn't really fully registered yet. But in the Modern Witch Tarot, she has made her peace with that part of herself and has accepted that quote-unquote masculine energy and is aware it's a part of what makes her fully a woman. The provided book also reinforces this by saying, only by reconciling with those scary aspects of ourselves can strength grow. This depiction makes me appreciate this card so much more because the book says you have to accept your fears and your anxieties and your feelings because they are a part of you. We're not meant to be placed on a pedestal of virginal goodness, and men are not meant to be relegated back to the role of mindless beasts. We have evolved. The Everyday Witch Tarot shows us a similar depiction, but this time we see the destruction that strength is capable of. In the background, she's controlling a tornado. But is she keeping it in check or preparing to launch it forward? The provided book tells us she's pushing it away, and the overall message of the card is said to be one of confidence. This witch isn't even looking at the magic she's creating. She is that sure of herself. Overall, and per the book, typically when this card appears in a reading, it is usually a reminder of one's inner strength and the ability to not only push through, but to succeed and survive. But I also get very much she will unleash that magic if she has to. The Tarot of Sexual Magic gives us this rousing rendition of a woman wrangling a wild boar. It also gives us the Roman numeral 11 instead of 8. She is grappling with parts of herself, trying to get them under control. And I'm almost scared to see what the book has to say about this. And I was right to be scared because the book uses the word dominion, but at first glance I saw the word domination. I'm going to forget everything else after that word dominion because the book is stupid. Look, strength isn't always about being dominant, but sometimes it is about asserting yourself. It's about standing up for yourself, for taking charge, for speaking out even when your voice shakes and you're scared as fuck. That is what this specific card is telling me. You could even take it one further because this is a sexual deck by adding the words in bed after every sentence, such as, strength is about asserting yourself in bed. Strength is about standing up for yourself in bed. Strength is about taking charge in bed. Animal Tarot, my beloved. There is a quiet sort of strength here, enduring, majestic, almost kind of wary. I feel that the elk, I don't know what this is, I think it's an elk, is aware of the power and the strength he holds and so does not seek to use it willy-nilly. The book tells me that this is my reindeer actually, and one of the words it uses to describe this card is control, and I absolutely agree. Control of oneself, which then just force ghosted me back to the Rifleman's Creed and the phrase, I must master it as I master my life. I'm going to brush aside the obvious mental conditioning that occurred in boot camp, and this series is not about my hangups. But control. I must master my control as I master my life. And Spider-Man did say, with great power comes great responsibility. The more power or strength that you have, the greater responsibility you also have to ensure that you do no harm, not only to others, but to yourself as well. Now, there are oak leaves and acorns on this card, and they are associated with longevity, wisdom, and strength. And I also get the feeling of like slow growing because oak trees take a very long time to grow. And like taking a very long time to grow, it takes time to master control. It's not something that occurs overnight or within a couple of weeks. It takes nurturing and work and sunlight and water and air and rest and everything. Now, the book says that the diamond between the horns represents our inner spirit of richness. But to me, it's also about toughness. Like literally, diamonds are one of the most natural, hardest substances on earth. And they're formed under intense pressure. And when cut and polished, they're absolutely beautiful. And it's that combination of strength and beauty that I absolutely appreciate. On that note, let us segue to a more physical demonstration of control. Behold, Eros Tarot. Now, Eros Tarot gets around the whole numbering conundrum by simply not numbering their major arcana cards, which I can appreciate because they still label what it is. Out of the 5 or 6 words given for this card in the provided leaflet, the ones that stuck out to me are power, compassion, and support. And yeah, I can definitely see the support and the power, not just for the pitcher, but for the catcher as well. There is definite core strength and muscle control involved for both parties. Care must be taken not to hurt one another, and the potential for injury increases because there's a less stable support foundation. We are so far away from the traditional lion imagery that it sort of knocks me for a loop when I think about where we started in this video. The Jane Austen Tarot, not to be confused with the Tarot of Jane Austen, which is out of print, and as a reminder, I'm going to say that every time, brings us back to a more genteel sort of strength. It's that whole keep calm and carry on sort of thing. And sometimes the strongest thing that we can do is get up and have a cuppa and choose to continue living for one more day. The book says this card is about courage. Courage to regroup and try again. Courage to keep putting one foot in front of the other. This is not one big battle to be waged in one, but more like a series of daily skirmishes that ultimately get us to our goal, even when we are tired, or sad, or wondering if we can even keep going. This strength is about persevering. The Lover's Path Tarot gives us strength. In previous videos, this deck likes to change the major arcana names to stuff like Desire instead of Chariot, so it's nice to see strength as strength. There is no lion, but there is a horse in the background looking wild and free, and the couple in the foreground hold on to one another and look towards the future. The usual descriptions apply: courage, strength, confidence, leadership. But the description of the card itself and the story of Brunhilde and Siegfried say that this card is about transforming weakness into strength. It's interesting, sort of. Basically, this is a Valkyrie, and she defied her father and finally understood the power of love and found the confidence to betray him because she fell in love with a mortal after hearing his father give a TED talk on the power of love or whatever. It also says this card is about strength to do great deeds. The description and the story doesn't really resonate with me just by looking at this card. I do see this as an action card, however, as in now is the time to take action and fight for what you want. Have courage and have faith because you will triumph. So, yes, the courage, strength, and confidence descriptions all apply here. It's appropriate. But I have to work harder to see it. Looking at the book in this case for the card description just confused the hell out of me. It's only when I cut to the meat of the meaning and go back to the traditional aspect of the card that I am able to resonate with it. The crow takes us back to the lion imagery. The garland of flowers are back, and the crow is just chilling. She's at peace with herself. She is confident in that she knows the situation. The lion is relaxed and at peace as well. He's yawning. This is not a roar. And this card really speaks about a mutual respect and confidence in one another. The crow, to quote the book, has mastered her ability to connect with the higher frequency, channeling trust and respect. The last card, as always, is the Urban Tarot. And with the statue of the lion, I get the feeling that this card is about control and mastery of old habits or ways of thinking, possibly even generational trauma that still has an effect on our lives today. And the description given by the artist uses the word fortitude a lot, which basically is defined as courage in pain or adversity. You keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and eventually you make it through. And that's a very similar energy to the Jane Austen Tarot of Strength with the T. So that's it. That's the video for today. As always, I leave you with 3 questions. 1. What is your favorite depiction of strength shown today? 2. What is your interpretation of the Spirit Halloween Store strength, the Manticore? And 3. How does he compare to his counterparts? Thanks for hanging around, and I hope to see you back again soon. Bye, guys.